Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 7th and 8th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline Comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish. They're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Gilbert, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday night as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline. Welcome to Silverline Silver Sunday on the first day of December. It is December already. I'm your host, I'm Roland Man, and I'm excited to be with my usual cast, including Color Supreme, Miss Roberta Conroy. Say hi, Roberta.
Hello.
Roberta is sporting this evening a very sweet cat and mouse t-shirt. It's also yours.
Look at that.
Yep. And right next to Roberta is that man in the mask guy, Mr. Mike W. Belcher. What's up, Mike?
Nothing much. How's everybody doing?
We are
good.
Well. And we're joined by the Hungry Hippo himself, Mr. Tom Mason.
In honor of today's topic.
And last but not least, Mr. Thomas Formonti Jr., who tells Santa he can explain.
I can't explain anything.
You working at the mall?
The other Tom did it.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you turned your TV down.
Maybe it's just me now.
Or off then. We're glad you turned your TV off.
What'd you hear?
Whatever you had going on the TV is what we heard. What were you watching, Tommy?
Renee's watching a makeup video of some sort. I don't know. Some lady.
I can't believe it's the first day of December.
No kidding.
I'm ready.
It hurts. No, because it's the end of the year.
Yes, it is.
That means we've only got 30 more days of 2024.
Last page on the calendar.
Yeah,
I got a lot to accomplish on my resolutions then from last year.
Man, so many things. And before we get too deep, remind everyone that we have a campaign going Beyond the Stars 1 through 4. You can get it's actually for number 4. 1 through 3 are done. Hopefully, all of you who read 1 through 3 will get out over here and pick up number 4. If you haven't gotten all 4 of them, and you can see here, we still have 16 days to go, and we still have a bunch to go. We've got 26%. So you guys get over there. There's still a couple of pieces of original art with this one. We don't have as many pages as we usually do, but we've got 2 sweet covers. We've got this cover pencils by Rob Davis, and we've got cover pencils by Jose Fuentes. So get over there, you original art lovers, pick those things up. As you see, you can get some back issues, you can get the digital, you can get it in all kinds of ways. The important thing is for you to get over there and get it. So still 16 days to go, so a little over 2 weeks. So get over there, back it. If you can't back it, we understand everybody's doing Christmas shopping, holiday shopping, whatever you're shopping for shopping. Share it. Share it around. You guys, you should all know Ron Fortier. The artist is Andrea Bormida. Of course, Mike's lettering it. I will confess, I had never heard of Andrea Bormida before. He's an Italian guy whose art is just fantastic. You guys are going to love this. It's space opera at its finest.
It'll make a great stocking stuffer.
Absolutely. You know what? And we're comic fans here, but we're comic readers first. So you can even roll that thing up and put it in the stocking.
As long as you roll it up really
easy.
Yep.
Oh, I'm shocked by all of this behavior. Who is rolling up comic books? Stop that.
I don't know. I don't do that.
Yeah, I
might as well stick them in your back pocket or something. No.
I did do that. I did stick them in my back pocket. So
were you on your bicycle?
I was.
And you needed both hands?
I used to also jam them up my shirt, right up the bottom of my shirt, on my bicycle, because it was easier to carry on my bicycle that way, because I always had more than one. Not always, but
you did it that way so your mom wouldn't see when you were sneaking them in.
No, I rode my bike, so she knew where I was going. But my $2 would get me 6 comics, a candy bar, and a Coke.
Yeah.
and there were no bags in your community.
Well, that was it. It was in the 7-Eleven bag, and I think they were usually paper bags. But I would.
Handles.
What?
No handles.
Well, no handles. And I didn't. I had a guy's bike. I didn't have a little sissy basket on my bike.
And you didn't have a backpack either, because they hadn't been invented yet.
70s, yeah. No one had backpacks in the 1970s.
All right, I'm getting a picture into your world, Roland.
Yeah.
So when you go to the grocery store, would you stuff your milk and your cheese and stuff up your shirt?
We had carts.
Okay.
Kroger had carts that you could. I did tell my son this week earlier. We ended up seeing a Coke bottle. It was because we went to the movies and they were drinking out of a bottle, and we started talking about that. And I told him, I said, I used to ride my bicycle along the highway. My community was next to a highway, and I said I used to ride my bicycle next to a highway, and I would pick up and collect Coke bottles, because you could get a nickel for every Coke bottle you returned to the 7-Eleven. And so that's what I would do.
That's good comic book money.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
We are not live on
Snickers
Facebook,
money.
Are we? Okay, so I just heard we're not live on Facebook. If you're trying to join us on Facebook, we're not live there. Just jump on over to YouTube. We are live on YouTube, so just go to Silverline Comics on YouTube. I say that like if they're trying to join us on Facebook, they can't hear me, right?
So you're making the effort, though, Roland, and that's kudos.
Covering your base.
That's
so we are on YouTube just fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure why that is the case. So that's it for my news. Anyone else have any news?
I'm just sad it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's heartbreaking to me that it always seems to sneak up. A few minutes ago, I thought it was still summertime.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I got some things I can get done before the end of the year. And now it's like, oh, well, I'm screwed.
Yeah. Mike, are you having snow? Are you having snow up your way? Aren't
We
you?
actually had our first snow this morning. It was just on the cars
wow.
and the rooftops, but yeah, and our real first big cold spell because it's been kind of warm here.
Yeah.
Been kind of in the 50s. It's usually in the 40s in November in Kentucky, and it's been high 50s, 60s. So this past week we kind of started going back down, and I prefer it the other way. So hail global warming. I'm not a big cold weather guy. I used to be until I think you're a cold weather person until you have to drive in.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then it
Getting to
becomes
work
really
depends on
annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's my nemesis.
We got our we got a frost warning where we
Wow.
are. Yeah. So Tommy and we live. I didn't know this thing existed until I moved down here. There's this thing called the freeze line, and that's just the line around the globe. I forget was latitude or longitude. Which one goes around? Not up and down. Which one goes around? It's a latitude.
One of the two that you said.
Yeah, one of those two, right? So that freeze line is around Gainesville, Florida, which is about an hour north of me, right? So when I first moved down here, I was looking at places and I would see these water pipes sticking up out of the ground, and I'm looking at them like, oh, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? And the guy looks at me and he goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, there's or don't you have any problems in winter? And he goes, "We're below the freeze line." I'm like, "What the heck's a freeze line?" And I looked it up. It's a real thing.
So is this the thing where the iguanas in the trees will
Yes.
freeze up and drop on the ground?
Yeah, it's true.
That's the funniest damn thing.
Isn't it? You just see iguanas falling from trees.
Because they're cold, right?
Yeah. We also
That's sad.
They're not dead though. They're just chilled.
Yeah, well, it's
They're
like the
just chilling
alligators.
out.
You see the picture of the alligator? I think last year we had a pretty nasty cold spell come through, and it froze. Not where I am, but a little bit north of us. It froze a bunch of water, and alligators will just go and stick their snout out of the water, right? And it freezes all around them, and all you see is this little alligator snout sticking up, so they don't.
But they're good, huh?
Yeah, they're fine, and that's just so they don't starve of oxygen.
Yeah.
Right. That way they can eat all the cold iguanas.
Right.
When they fall out of the tree.
Yeah,
They should do it with their mouths open, right?
that's right. Just wait. Here iguana.
Yeah. So some really weird things happen when it gets cold in places that aren't supposed to be cold. So yeah,
That goes for a lot of things. Yeah.
I complain more. That's the weird thing that happens.
well, my bones creak more. That's for sure.
Oh, it takes a long time to get going in the morning.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. Yes, it does. All right. Well, no one else has any news. Let's get right to our topic. Today, we're going to talk about food and comics. And, I thought about this like big, long introduction thing about, how you have food in movies. And one of the things that I always think about when I think about food in film is Brad Pitt. If you watch Brad Pitt is always eating in his something, right? He's snacking on something. He's eating a cheeseburger or snacking on nuts. Someone said, I guess Robert Downey Jr. did this in the Avengers as well, is that they told him not to, but he hid little stacks around the set. And so as he was going about doing his things, he could reach over and grab some and start snacking on them as he was, going about as they were filming, going about his lines. And so I got to thinking, what about comic books? Do we have anything like that in comics? Do we address food in comics that much? You think about TV shows as well. The families will often sit down and have a meal. It's Thanksgiving, so this is fresh on our mind. But families will often sit down and have a meal. The Waltons, right? Their show ended with the family. Blue Bloods. I don't know if anybody watched
Blue Bloods has a meal almost every week.
Yep. So what about comics?
Well, it's interesting because in TV and movies, it's just a way to do something really cheap. Because you can just have like in Blue Bloods, they have that dining room table setting all ready to go. So they make it a point to use it every week, and it's a place where they can get together. under the pretense of family dinner and exchange information and talk about the plot of the show.
The plot of the show, exactly.
And in comic books, they usually just send the hero up to the roof where they brood a lot.
Yeah.
And they have the costume on, so they're not really, Batman's not going to be driving up to Wendy's or whatever.
Sharon.
And
it's also economy of space for comics. Sometimes there's just not enough room to have that
Brooding.
Big, dinner spread.
Yeah, there we go. They're on the rooftop.
Brooding on the roof.
There they go.
Arguing.
That's right. Which happens to be what Roberta's coloring right now.
Yeah. Brooding on the rooftop after jumping on it.
And I think, in movies like the Brad Pitt thing, is really noticeable in Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Because he is snapping constantly.
Yes.
And a lot of that is like shorthand for his character. And a lot of it is like just a thing. It's like business, and it's a thing to do with the hands. But comics are static. It's a frozen image, so it's hard to get the movement of somebody eating.
Well, I had read somewhere, and this dates back probably a decade or so, but I had read somewhere that characters or actors like Brad Pitt do this because of the kind of smoking ban. A lot of TV shows and movies don't want their characters to smoke now, and if your character smokes, that gives them something visually to do.
Right.
In between lines, or they can look pensive while they're smoking, or they
take
can
a dramatic pause.
Take a dramatic pause. If they're not doing that, then it's just kind of
right. They could also blow smoke in somebody's face.
Right.
Assert dominance.
Yeah. and blowing smoke can mean different things depending on the way it's blown. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they can't smoke anymore. So they eat.
But of course, Brad Pitt still, he still weighs the same as a movie star. Like he would, if I ate like Brad Pitt did on the shows, or the movies, I would be huge.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I would.
But those guys exercise like 400 hours a day.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. But also. Because we've talked about that. I don't think we've talked about it, but I've talked about it with different people. It's like they have the time to do it. That's kind of their job, right?
Yeah, that's what they're getting paid to do.
Yeah, I don't have time to do 400 hours a day exercising. I got to work.
If you're paying me $20 million a year to look pretty, I'll look pretty.
Oh yeah. I'll spend 6 hours a day at the gym, of course.
I'll be and I'll take that check right to the bank.
Yeah.
And I guess depending on what movie they're filming or anything like that, they sometimes they got to bulk up, so they they have trainers and everything just to make sure that they get to where they're months, years in some cases to make sure. Some of the beards are really beards. They're not all fake, so they got to have time to grow those things out and stuff.
And they're eating like 6 cooked chickens a day or something like that.
Yeah, if you listen to what The Rock eats all the time, it's just he eats a whole farm of chickens every movie. It's
right. Yeah, and just vegetables, and that's it. Like there's no nothing.
Yeah.
But for $20 million.
Yep,
exactly.
I'll eat nothing but baked chicken all day.
It's true.
I have a price.
And that's a stream we'll talk about some other time. What is your price?
It'd be surprising how low it is. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I do have. Where did my list go? I do have a list, by the way.
That's your price.
Yeah, the list is my price.
Yeah.
Pop says, "Hey, yo, what's up, Pops? Thanks for swinging by as always." He says, "If you would like to bring your show to or become a sponsor of the Madness Entertainment Group LLC, please contact us at the Madness Comic on X, Pops Van Zant on Facebook, Pop at themeg.tv." So you guys, if you, I think Pop just announced a couple new shows. I I'm not sure if I should have said something.
Was one of them Blue Bloods?
No, no. I think last week he talked about a couple of new shows. So the madness group is ever growing. If you guys sitting there thinking, hey, I've got something I want to talk about every week, reach out to Pops and he'll set you up. He'll take good care of you. So Roberta, before we get much further, what are we watching you color today?
Cat and Mouse Vipers #1, and Cat and Mouse are jumping around on the rooftops.
But they're not celebrating.
No, doesn't look like it.
Looks like she's doing a cartwheel.
Yeah, she's just having an acrobatic time there.
Frolicking.
Yes.
But here's the question: are they eating?
And no, they are not.
Once they get to the rooftop, though, he's hidden a chicken over there.
I missed it. I didn't see the chicken.
Yeah,
it's behind that green wall.
That's in the next issue, I'm sure. The chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I actually do have a chicken in the next, not the next issue, the next story.
That's very good to know.
Only because we're talking about voodoo stories. It's a voodoo story in the next one, so got to be chickens in there. So Tom sent us some images before I get to them. What about comic books, y'all? Can you think of anything? I can really only think of one instance where I remember food being a big deal to the character and as part of the story. But what about y'all? Can you think of anything?
We know the turtles. They like pizza.
Oh, that's a great one. Great example. Yeah, turtles.
That's always a big thing.
That's the only one I can think of where the food was like really a part of the show's dynamic.
Yeah.
Or the comics dynamic, where they had like it was referenced constantly.
Yes.
Yeah,
it wasn't the Flash always eating?
Yeah, because he had like a 1,000,000-calorie diet because of the because they I mean, he didn't do it every time, but they made it a point to let you know he has to eat, otherwise he can't. That was in the days when they had those weird science facts to make you believe that the Flash could be real, because they would put the writer would put that weird science stuff in there and say, well, look, this could really happen if such, and they draw like a little map in the caption box.
If you ran from here to Tokyo, this is how many calories you'd burn off.
Right.
And therefore, this is how many hamburgers you need to eat.
Everything was measured in hamburgers.
That's right. Yeah. What Tommy mentioned, that's the one I remember most. Because I think that was when Mike Baron, I think that's when after
William Loeb.
Crisis.
I think Baron added that to the canon.
Yeah. And that was just part and parcel of basically every time Flash went and did something, he had to eat, and you saw that pretty frequently in the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pop says, "I know they all liked Hostess products. We saw them in every book."
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
I think Pops has a comment of the day.
That's a good one.
Yes, it was very important to superheroes in the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
You could be stereotypical. You could say like does Batman eat steaks all the time because he's rich.
Apparently he likes to grill, according to Batman canon, and he does a delicious ribeye. Also Bruce Wayne cuts his hamburgers in half and eats them with a knife and a fork.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Whoa. Wait. Where's this from?
Well, I sent you the images.
Okay. All right. So I gotta find Bruce Wayne here.
I didn't label them properly, but they're there.
Oh, sure enough. Look at it. Here we go. Let me. Don't go anywhere, Roberta. I'm gonna. There we go.
Mm-hmm. That's
there
fine.
he is.
Bruce
Wayne
Wayne
cuts his hamburger with a knife and a fork.
Well, he's all snotty.
It's very upscale.
That's very upscale.
Oh, look too. He even cleans his fork and knife with a napkin before he uses it.
He probably brings his own too.
Right. Well, he can't risk getting some kind of disease.
Yeah.
He's like the Howie Mandel of superheroes.
All right, so I'm just gonna go through these images real quick here, Tom, or maybe not real quick. Who's this?
This is Bruce Wayne again. He's talking about grilling a ribeye.
Okay, what are you doing? He's grilling. And of course,
drinking some.
Yeah,
As
clearly
he's
he just had a workout, so he's drinking smart water.
Right.
Yeah,
Or bourbon.
or bourbon. One of the two.
Well, I don't know. This looks like a water bottle right here. That doesn't,
Oh,
that
okay.
doesn't look like a bourbon
Oh yeah. Okay, maybe so.
bottle. And
There he's having dinner with Clark and Lois, and he's refusing to eat pie, I guess.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I've
So
already
here's-
eaten.
Here's the line. She says, "One more slice, Bruce. Not if I'm going to slip into a leotard ever again, Lois."
Oh no, that's very funny.
What fun!
Dieting.
Also,
Yeah,
he calls
that's
he
another
calls his
topic.
costume a leotard.
He calls it a leotard, not a costume.
What's
Yeah.
no?
I'm
one
supposed to fight with the Joker next week. I have to look good.
No self-respecting superhero is going to call it a leotard.
He's not a dancer. It's a costume.
Well, he's not going to call it a costume.
Or,
Yeah, he's not going to.
well,
Uniform. It's a
you could
uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do the superheroes call their outfits then?
Boy,
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
topic for you, Roland.
Uniform.
yeah.
You-
All right, Tom.
Disguise is what I thought.
Oh yeah.
My disguise.
What do they actually call the outfits they wear? What did they call it in the Incredibles? They had the lady that was making all the outfits.
Super
Yeah,
suit.
super suit.
Well, that's what the dude called it.
The
shoot.
Frozone.
Frozone called it. Where's my super suit?
Yeah,
Right.
I like super suit. That makes
I do
sense to
too.
me.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we're drinking some kind of kryptonite
That's
tea.
Superman is drinking microbes. He's drinking every dangerous microbe known to mankind at that time.
Naturally, I prefer chocolate soda.
That's the thing about. I was researching this over the week, and the thing about Superman is, so many stories are based on whatever stupid thing he will put in his mouth. He will put microbes in there. He'll eat a planet. He'll eat a tree. He'll eat a piece of iron. He'll put a bomb down there. He'll eat a hot rivet. He'll just whatever the story calls for. Superman's like, oh, I'm drinking that. I'm eating that.
The guy's talking to him looks like he's from an Archie comic book.
Really funny.
Yeah, it's like-
and he got right. Here's his line. You've proven it, Superman. I've been wasting my time trying to sell you life insurance.
right. See? Oh, these comics are
You
so
know,
dumb. I love
At
them.
what point did they have to say, okay, we can't do this anymore because we don't want kids going and drinking
Well,
microbes.
where's the kid gonna get a glass of microbes anyway?
The pond.
I don't know.
That's right. He's gone down to the local pond.
Let's see. Here's another one. But
He had a
Superman
knife.
eats his knife?
Yeah. He disarms him. He disarms him and eats it.
Come here.
Wow.
Oh,
He needed more iron in his diet.
Snatching away the pocket knife, Superman places it in his mouth. Then, delicious.
Delicious.
He swallowed it.
Boy.
It's nuts.
I want to know. Don't want to know how that comes out.
All right, Superman's eating a red hot poker.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It's
Oh
fantastic.
my gosh, Tom, where'd you find this stuff?
There's a website that has basically crazy stuff Superman eats.
Superman tastes it experimentally.
Right.
Amazing.
Let's see what happens. I'm gonna eat a hot poker.
And then he says, "Heat it some more. I like my meals
Not hot
hotter than
enough.
that."
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good grief. Uh-oh. Golly. Boy, I wonder what kind of tones he has.
Superboy, he ate some nuclear fusion.
It caused an atomic explosion in his stomach.
Right.
How many times do you need to calm that down?
Yeah, every time you breathe, it will emit nuclear fire.
There you go.
Gosh.
Like
Yeah.
right now.
Increase
And
your
we're standing right in front of it.
Hmm.
Let's see. Superman, I'm accustomed to the adulation of millions, but to know Clark has fans of his own really chokes me up. And he's eating chocolate-covered cherries. Okay.
That's too far. He can't do that.
That's normally on Valentine's Day. I prefer the hot poker or the nuclear fusion, but today
he's eating normal stuff.
Is Superman eating a bunch of cheeseburgers? Now this looks like a scene. Look at all these the waitresses behind him bringing all cheeseburgers. She's just dumping them right here.
Right. Yeah, they're not even bothering to serve them to him. They're just like, yeah, we'll just
dump
these out.
Wait, where's the restaurant he's eating at where the ladies are wearing those outfits? That's kind of.
Well, you got to remember this is probably.
Well, this looks like an '80s cover.
Is it like Twin Peaks or is it Hooters or something?
This is probably '70s or '80s here, based on the artwork. So, but this does remind me of a scene out of the Flash comic that
before they were racing and stuff.
Who was the Mike? Who was the artist with Belcher? With Belcher. Who was the artist with Baron?
It was Jackson Geiss and then Greg LaRocque.
Yeah. So those are great images, Tom.
They're fantastic. I love all that stupid stuff.
Yeah. So one of the things I can remember in a Silverline comic, this would have been the early 90s, late 80s. One of the characters eating and looking at the artwork, just going, that just looks awkward. Having a character try to, take a bite, and they got to draw it. The artist didn't have to draw it with the mouth open. And it's just an awkward image often.
It is. That's why when in the movies when Brad Pitt's eating, he's basically snacking on hand food. He's not carrying around like a steak.
Yeah.
Or a lobster.
Eating chips and stuff.
Yeah, it's all chips and peanuts and lollipops and whatever.
Yeah, something he can throw in his mouth.
Right. And also, it's not. If you watch most movies, they don't really show them eating. They show them
leaving it around talking about it.
Because you're right, the image of people eating and chewing on screen is just as brutal as it is in drawing it in comics. So they cut around it.
Yeah.
Plus, there's so many takes in movies. I mean, if they start eating while they're doing a take, they've got to do it 20 more times.
Right. Also, because the food is fake in movies and TV shows because it has to.
What? It's not real.
No.
Yeah, we started watching. BJ and I started watching The Tracker. Have y'all seen that Tracker?
Yeah, that's good.
He tracks things.
Yeah, with Justin Hartley. Really good. I like it. But he one of his guest stars there, his brother. I forget the actor's name. You would know him if you saw him.
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles.
I think so. Yeah, he's always eating.
He is always eating. Yeah.
Yes, always. And dude looks like. I mean, you can see him. He takes a big bite and it's just like just chawing away while he's.
Because I think that becomes part of his character on the show.
Yes.
And not just a general sort of let's all eat thing.
Right. And this may be when he eats. When do you eat? I eat while I work.
I just make movies and TV shows for the food.
To feed me.
I'm here for the catering.
Yeah, he tells the catering to hide me some stuff over there because I'm gonna come off. I'm gonna come off like I've just come from the refrigerator, right?
A cheeseburger behind the TV.
Yeah. Apex Comics says Superboy eating fiery nachos.
Yeah, like super fiery nachos.
Yeah. Pop says in the Defenders and Avengers books back in the day, everyone was always mad at Hulk for emptying the fridge.
It's right, and especially in the Steve Gerber ones.
Yes, yeah.
Hulk, shut up, bird nose. Hulk hungry.
Yeah, those were good.
That's comics the way they were meant to be, Roland.
Yes, that's very true. What else? Anybody think of any other things? Mike, what about Man in Mask? Does he eat?
Sparingly because I don't like drawing it.
But he does.
I mean, that's the look. Yeah. Huh?
he does go to a bar.
He does go to a bar.
No, absolutely. Hot chocolate is a vice, but as far because it's easy to I don't have to draw a mouth when I put a cup up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easy. As far as food, I mean, I've never really broached it because again, it's kind of takes up space. You can't smell it, you can't taste it. It's hard. You'd have to describe it, and then using it as a backdrop. How long are you going to use it? I mean,
I think for comics, they're just other tools in the toolkit. You don't need the food.
Right.
Exactly. I said other than you're trying to cover up not having to draw a mouth one time. I mean, put a cup in your mouth.
Because in the Batman stuff, like when Batman's sitting around with Superman and Lois and they're having dinner, that's just a thing. Like they don't do that every issue. That's a special occasion sort of thing. And the Superman stuff, he'll just put anything in his mouth because that's part of the goofy story.
Right.
But there's not. And I think the only people who ever sat around the table regularly were like the 1960s Justice League, where they sat around the table like they were having a meeting in the conference room.
Yeah.
Well, food was an occasion in comics. The Thanksgiving. It was easier to portray the time of the year without having to write it out. I mean, it's food's not exactly you can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't relay it per se, but you could use it as an occasion. You can use it as a way of describing the scene to the reader.
Yeah.
I mean, because the JLA and the JSA had Thanksgiving meal every year. That was a reason to get together, which usually something happened that a fight ensued to some bad guys tried to stop the meal that was the reason for the get together.
And I think in those kinds of comics it was done to sort of show, hey, they're just like us.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. To show them doing something more normal.
Right.
Oh, look, we're not out fighting super villains right now. We're eating just like you eat.
And then Our Man shows up and says, "Look, I only got an hour. Let's get this going."
It humanizes because it's like in the Justice League comic of the '80s, Demanius and Giffen made Martian Manhunter Oreo addict, and that was their way of showing both humor and the personality. It's like Manhunter is a little hard to get, but then you start seeing that he's got an addiction to Oreos. They get him addicted to Oreos.
That's cool because he's the Martian from another planet. So coming to Earth, it seems like he would have some kind of junk food fixation.
So
I would if I was a Martian.
Yeah.
As we all would.
Right.
Yeah. What was that? An alien species, right? Food doesn't react to them the same way it does us. What was that? Story
drunk off marshmallow or something.
Yeah, it's like it's a drug.
Well, that's weird that you say that. I was trying to find some more stuff, and it says that Venom. They show him, and I, used to read Spider-Man a lot. It said Venom likes chocolate, and they show him eating chocolate a lot because it does something. The symbiote that lives, that is Venom that needs whatever's in chocolate.
Yeah, caffeine probably.
Caffeine, yeah.
Yes, but what is Deadpool like?
Well, like so it's right here, a chimichanga. Deadpool likes chimichangas, right?
Well,
tacos.
Yeah, Mexican food, I guess.
Mexican food, yeah. Yeah. How many Deadpool shirts do you see that has tacos or chimichangas or something that's a Deadpool shirt?
But how many times have you ever seen him eating chimichangas?
Not so much in the movies.
No,
but in the comics.
Did he do it? I don't know.
I haven't read enough Deadpool comic books to know.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to go back through all the books. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember anybody really eating anything. It's just what we think that the turtles eating pizza because they always had pizza.
They always had pizza. Eating's a theme of the Legion of Superheroes with Matter Eater Lad.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He may not be eating food, but he's eating. That's his shtick.
He'll eat whatever Superman doesn't put in his mouth.
There you go. Leftovers.
He's got Superman's leftovers.
Yeah.
Let me have one of those extra pokers. Let me have one. I need a jar of microbes.
Yeah.
You clean out your piping, you got somebody to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's right. Who's doing the dishes? Marito lad. Oh no.
Right.
He's
That's
eating
the
all
fine
dishes.
china.
That was
Yeah.
Wedgwood. Well, not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I what about independent comics? Can we think of any? Oh, I mean, Turtles.
Yeah. What?
Archie. Now, what didn't Archie?
Oh, Jughead. He had a ton of
Jughead was always
burgers,
eating
right?
Jughead,
Oh, Popeye and spinach. Right?
Popeye.
Popeye
Yeah.
and spinach, and then Wimpy from was always after a hamburger.
I will gladly pay you $2
Garfield and
for a
lasagna.
hamburger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dagwood in the comics he made the Dagwood sandwich that even became
Oh, yeah, a whole sandwich named there.
That's right,
Yeah.
the huge one.
where you basically put everything
Yeah.
on the sandwich.
Yeah.
So it's really popular in comic strips.
Well, so all right. Well, then that begs the question: should it be more used more frequently in comic books? Should we add more food to our superhero stories or comic stories?
I don't know. Can you do it? Because if you do it like Popeye, where there's an item that you eat that makes you super powerful, because Popeye had like a stupid power. He would just get beat up for 8 minutes, and then he would eat spinach, and he would beat up Bluto.
Even though his
For a
pipe
minute and a half.
would somehow shoot a laser out and cut the top of the can off, but you think he would use his pipe to do something.
Right. Yeah, because if his pipe has a laser, you think he would use that.
Yeah, no, can't use that.
Yeah.
But I think the
Power to open the cans of spinach.
in the comic strips are just used as a gag. Like the Dagwood would get up and make a sandwich, and people would just stare at him like he was an idiot. And then Wimpy was just always trying to borrow money to get a hamburger.
Yeah.
And Jughead ate because that was just that was his character for a long time. That was like, Archie has this personality, Betty has this personality, Veronica has this personality, Reggie is this guy. What does Jughead do? Well, Jughead just eats.
Well, and he was a bit of a doofus too, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he wasn't involved in the romantic triangle.
No.
It seemed like they were always in a soda shop too, a lot. For what I
was
remember.
just saying,
Pop's chocolate shop.
yeah. Which was a very 1950s diner-ish
So
kind
I'm
of.
sure that they had all kind of food in the books. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We need Stephen here, Stephen Butler, for all the Archie stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
He could have told him.
Hey, Tommy, I know you've asked him. I've asked him recently again. Hey, dude, you got to come join us. And he actually told me this last. Stephen, if you're listening, he actually told me last time. He said once he's working on a new. I forget the name of his book now. Fiona. He's working on a new issue of Fiona, and I think he said once he gets that done, he said, "I'll come talk to you all about that." So I said, "All right, come on." Yeah, so trying to think. I remember in the first volume of Cat and Mouse, they mentioned going to Cafe Du Monde and getting and eating a muffalata.
Coffee?
Yeah, muffalata.
Making me hungry now.
But you were using that to establish
A muffalata? Not at
Yes.
Cafe Du Monde.
Right.
Did they have sandwiches there?
Yeah.
Not at Cafe Du Monde. Let me look it up. I don't know. I've only ever went there to have
beignets. That's it.
What's the big sandwich food in New Orleans?
Muffalata and the po' boys and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, po' boys. Yeah, but see, po' boys. I didn't want to use po' boys because it was like, I wanted to use something that sounded more regional as well.
Right. Because a muffaletta is where you stuff everything into the bread, right?
Yeah, and it's that sauce. Golly, I can't think of what it is. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
But a po' boy, you can eat a po' boy from coast to coast.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
so
but it's not the same.
It's been co-opted.
No. I'm not arguing with you, Tommy. But I was saying part of the reason I used it, as I mentioned in Cat and Mouse, was what Tom mentioned. I was trying to kind of establish regionality, right? It's like, okay,
local
this is
local flavor.
That's it, local flavor. Yeah, like, if we set our story down here in Orlando, they're going to eat gator. Right.
You mean pond dinosaur?
Yeah. I don't think the gators are. This will go off topic a little bit. I don't think gators are near as scary as those. What are those big Australian
Komodo dragons?
Komodo dragons.
Well, yeah.
Holy mackerel! Those things are scary.
Yeah, it's not Australian though. I think that is
Where's
It's
that?
Thailand or Cambodia.
That's only that
Somewhere.
island. Komodo.
Yeah. Although everything in Australia wants to kill you, so they might as well be from Australia.
Yeah, I've seen videos of people tying up like goats, and those things just coming and just gobbling those things whole.
What the heck are you watching, Roland?
Yeah.
YouTube.
Have BJ delete your browser history before you pass away.
Yeah, my kids are always saying, "Where do you find these weird videos?"
Dad, stop it! Cut it out.
That's a good question.
I'm the king. I'm the king of weird music videos. You guys tell me. I know you know who Weird Al Yankovic is, right?
Yes.
But tell me you've seen the music video for Albuquerque. Oh, you got it.
I have because you made me watch it.
Yes, right. I know Tommy did. you gotta Google Weird Al Yankovic Albuquerque. Not right now because it's like a 10-minute video and watch it. Right?
I don't know.
That sounds like a commitment.
It's a commitment. He tells a story, right? It's an animated video, a music video, but he tells the story throughout the whole thing, and it is hilarious. Oh my goodness!
I'm not looking for anything serious like a 10-minute thing.
Oh no, but it's Tom. You would like it.
Okay.
It's your kind of humor.
Albuquerque.
Yes.
Right. Is it as funny as tying a goat to a chain and having a dragon eat it?
Oh, it's way funnier than that. That's scary.
Right.
Albuquerque is funny.
Right.
Ben Sullivan, what's up, Ben? Thanks for hanging out with us here. What do you think about all this food talk? Ben says the koalas are the worst. Koalas,
and they
worst
taste
how?
terrible.
What, taste bad? What do you mean worse?
they just eat celery, don't they?
No, they eat bamboo.
The people? I mean, what?
They can only eat that one. What is the one leaf that they can eat?
Eucalyptus.
That's it.
Eucalyptus.
It's the pandas who eat the bamboo.
Oh, okay. All right. Pandas and koalas, I get them mixed up.
Yeah, like a battle.
I can see how.
Thank you, Roland Mann, zookeeper.
well, I guess one's black and white and one's got the big funny ears, doesn't it?
White and black.
And one
They're both a
runs the
bear,
airline
or
from
so
Australia.
they say.
They both the koalas kind of hang around in trees, right?
Right. And pandas are too fat to climb a tree. They fall over a lot.
I did see a video recently, again on YouTube, of the panda playing in the snow. Did y'all see that
cute,
one?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That sounds fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other Beware the Drop Bear. Woodham, what's up, Woodham? Thanks for hanging out with us.
I love his
Beware the
funny as can be.
What's that?
His little icon thing, his little thing there. Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I think that's
I don't even know what a drop bear is.
I don't know what a drop bear is either. Woodham. Or I bet that's. I said Woodham. I bet that's Woody M. What's a drop bear, Woody? Tell us what a drop bear is.
I'm looking it up. It's a hoax of Australian folklore. Featuring a predatory carnivorous version of the koala. There we go.
Oh, well, there it is.
That sounds scary to me.
That does.
That sounds like cocaine koala bear.
Oh, look what he just told us. He goes, "There's an Australian legend that a koala bear will drop from a tree and tear your throat out."
Oh,
there we go.
All right. Then.
Well, that sounds like the what's the one from Mexico? Chupacabra.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I just got another.
We're talking about
He's making another note.
Yeah, I am making another note.
The difference between bears.
I got you. I got you, Woody. I read you right. So what are there any? Thinking about these characters, right, and food. What character do you think has a problem with food? And I don't mean like clearly they're all of them are in great shape, right? They're superheroes and or they're heroic, and so they're all in fantastic shape. But what characters like does Peter Parker have a problem with Snicker bars? It's like, oh, I can't pass up a Snicker bar, right?
It feels like
you have a bad eating habit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we know like Wolverine and them have bad drinking.
Well, yeah.
And he smoked. He used to smoke cigars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Until
It's
this
like
goes back to
Sergeant
this goes back to the smoking thing. Is that this is one of the things that Ben Grimm, Wolverine, and Nick Fury all right? They all used to smoke cigars.
Yep.
Blue Beetle. They established Blue Beetle kind of cope with anxiety and stress with eating because there was an issue of Justice League where they went to go get him and he had a big gut.
Really?
He'd been missing for a few months.
Is that still Madison Giffen?
Yep.
Those guys.
Yeah.
But it added something to it. It was saying, well, this makes kind of sense. I mean, yeah, they're using it for humor, but at the same token, they're saying, well, somebody like Beetle who's very normal. I mean, he might be athletic and everything, but on a team with people like Martian Manhunter and who else, he can get shot just like anybody else. He stress eats. I mean, that's an element.
Also, because when you got 10 characters in a book, you got to figure out ways to distinguish them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And give them little bits of business that make them different from the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here he is, almost 40 years later, and here I'm mentioning it. So,
yeah.
Right. It sticks with you.
It sticks with you.
And just think, if you had that gut, then the silhouette shot would be really cool. You could tell them.
You would know who it was.
You know who it is.
Well, even in the films recently, they had Fat Thor, right?
They did.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was
That was
binge
funny.
eating because he was sad.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
He was depressed, yeah.
Yeah, he was depressed. He was binge eating, drinking. It was a depression.
He was not the Thor of my childhood.
Which is it's a very human thing for people to do, right? People can relate to.
Yeah, I like that Thor. I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
it's a good Thor.
Yeah, it was fun. I wouldn't have wanted him to remain Fat Thor.
I would.
But it was
Fat Thor.
It was fun while it went on.
No, but he wasn't, even though he was heavy, he was not body positive about his heaviness. So
no.
Yeah.
Well,
there's that if we're sticking with movies for a second.
Oh, shawarma scene.
There's the shawarma scene at the end of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is, but he likes it.
Yeah. That was a fun scene. End of Avengers #1.
Because it was the great thing about it. The thing that I loved about it is not so much as shawarma, but it's just that. Robert Downey Jr. or Tony Stark promised that they would go out for shawarma after the fight, so they did it. So it's closure for a bit that was set up earlier. But also, it's just you see them not fighting evil; they're just hanging out.
Yeah,
and it's fun to see because I paused the DVD just to look and see what's on what's in front of everybody, and because sometimes that is character defining.
Yes, yeah, and absolutely.
It's sort of fun to see who doesn't want to eat shawarma ever again.
Yeah, I like Roberta's question. What did you find out? What can you remember?
Oh, I can't remember now.
Okay, yeah.
But now I want to go watch it again.
Yeah, me too.
But I think because some of them, like Tony Stark, like it's weird that Thor would get a gut because he's a god.
Right. Yeah.
Which I assume is part of the joke. But I mean, Hawkeye and Tony Stark are basically regular people.
Yep.
And so they would have to really watch what if they have shawarma, they're not going to eat again for like 6 days.
Yeah.
Because they gotta,
I don't know what shawarma is. I know it from the film, but I don't have any idea what it is.
What? You've
It's
never
heavy.
had a gyro?
Yeah. Well,
Where they have that big wall of meat where they shave it down really thin and put it on a pita for you?
Yeah, that's shawarma.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Meat on the hook.
Meat, yeah.
I've had gyros before, but
That's
I didn't know that was a shawarma.
Well, shawarma is it comes in different. Somebody who actually knows things will make a comment that I'm wrong, but because it's any of that kind of meat that's in a pita.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
See, you'll learn something every day. Yeah. No, I've had gyros before.
Right. You're close to having real shawarma then.
Okay. I tried to think what would some of the favorite foods of some of our characters be, right? Like, so Demon from Cat and Mouse, what would he like? What would be his go-to
Small
food?
children.
No, he's not that kind of demon.
Oh, okay. I thought he was always tempted. I thought he's like Dracula. He's like, I gotta bite a neck.
Small children.
I don't think he fights his inner.
Would he be a
demon.
vegetarian since he's a veterinarian and all this stuff in his mind to be considered?
Well, that's an interesting thought.
That's
I
a
agree
dark
with
side.
that.
I have known several
You just
veterinarians in my life, and I don't think any of them were vegetarians.
Yeah, but maybe he could take care of all the ones that died. So
But that's
good.
an interesting thought. It's like,
take care of cows and livestock.
Yep.
I mean, vets, go across the board, not just cats and dogs.
Well, my son and I were talking about this. And I'd hate to risk making anyone mad here, but we were talking about this billboard we saw on the side of the street, and it has animals, right? It's like there's a cat and a dog and a rabbit and a cow and a horse, right? And it says, "Where do you draw the line?" And, right, and it had a line down there for what's considered food and what's not considered food.
Well, here's the States where the line is.
So we were talking about, I've had that. I had not had that.
How about I won't have that?
See, I'm one of these kinds, though. I think I would try just about anything one time.
Well, I think you have to, unless it's morally reprehensible. But I think, I think some of it is if people are putting that weird food in front of me, I'll take a bite.
Yeah.
I was in Iceland and they had reindeer, and I had a bite of reindeer.
Oh, how was that?
Well, it's awful. I certainly don't want to order any of it, but I was glad I had a bite of it.
So it didn't taste like steak then, huh?
Not to me. I a whole country eats it, so it's got to be fine. But not for me.
That's interesting. Well, see, I would try snake. It sounds revolting to me.
How hungry are you? Are you trapped in the desert? Are you out of food and water?
That's it. I've killed my fair share of poisonous snakes, but I don't know which snake is okay to eat. Right? As you telling me, oh, Roland, well, you should have eaten that cottonmouth you killed.
Well, I've had eel, so does that count?
Is that a snake?
No,
it's
not.
That's a snake in the water.
This is
snake in the water.
Kind of.
It looks like a snake.
Well, that's like shrimp is a water spider, right?
A lobster is a water spider. Crab is a water spider.
Yeah, so
I'll eat those.
How was the
That's where I
eel?
draw
Was
the
the eel
line.
good?
Land spiders, I won't eat.
Oh yeah, land spiders.
I won't eat, but sea spiders I'll eat.
Yeah.
I ate a bowl of crickets once.
Did you really?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Oh,
Chocolate?
absolutely. I ordered them. Because the people I was with said I couldn't do it, and I said I bet I will.
Don't dare me.
Were they crunchy?
They were great.
Really?
They were absolutely delicious. You got
better than the reindeer.
You get the feelers and the legs and everything. They were delicious.
So how were So how were they cooked?
They were deep fried.
Deep fried. Oh, see now that deep frying fixes anything.
So it was basically like insect potato chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've eaten the Japanese when I was first started teaching. I taught a lot of ESL, and the Japanese would get these big packages for home, and of course they were because their families would send them things that they couldn't get here. And I ate one time. So if you've ever been fishing, you go to the bait shop and you buy minnows to put on your hook and you fish. I kid you not, these things that they had in little bags, like we get Dorito chips, they look like minnows, right? And so I'm like, one of the students was like, "Hey, you want to try them?" I'm like, "I will try it, absolutely." And so I just ate dried minnow. It wasn't horrible, but it was sea salty. It was just so salty I don't know that it tastes specifically like anything.
Hide the minnow flavor.
Minnow flavor. Yes.
Yeah.
I get those.
Yeah. So
I would try those though. They sound interesting.
Doritos make the brand.
And seaweed. I ate seaweed.
Well, that they could wrap around sushi, so that's really good.
Yeah.
I like sushi.
Me too.
Yeah. See, I want my fish cooked.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Good.
Yes, I do.
Sushi. No, sushi is fantastic.
No.
Are you still in high school, Roland?
No. But I want my fish cooked. I like fish, but I want it cooked.
But I like it fried, and I like it to come from KFC.
No, KFC's chicken, not fish. I do like my fish from Captain D's though, and that's good and fried.
All right.
God or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, we sure did wander off topic.
We sure did, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's
You talk about yourself and not the.
Still about food. So. Cat and mouse. What do you guys think since Roberta's coloring them, what do you think they would eat?
Well, they're not super powered. They're heroes, but not super powered. So I assume they have to eat a diet of like basically what actors would eat.
I've seen them eat sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. They're breaking training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this version of Cat and Mouse, they're
different,
New Orleans folks, right? So I'm sure New Orleans eat food.
Well, so they're actually here's the funny thing. They're actually both from Mississippi.
Okay.
They
probably eat a lot of catfish and
crawdads.
Well, that's New Orleans-y too. A lot of seafood stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Barbecue.
I would say that he eats better than she does. She's a little bit younger. So I would say she's probably fast foodier than he is. She's probably more, hey, let's get a McBurger. Than he's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Well, the way that they're being drawn, they work out a lot, so they can.
Yeah,
they are eating fast food all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't make you feel very good.
Metabolism.
What's that?
And I'm saying it wouldn't make you feel very good if you're working out.
No.
Yeah. No, you'd be like the Avengers at the end of the shawarma scene where they're just laying around going,
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of seafood.
They probably are eating buffaloes a lot.
Probably.
I know.
Yeah. So what about I realize this is all guessing here now, but what about say Divinity? What do you think she eats?
I think she eats candy.
Yeah, she's a kid.
Yeah, she's a kid. Yeah.
I think she's you could make the argument that she's a kid and because she's under the care of her two guardians, her brother and they're being strict with her about how she can't be seen and how she can't do this and can't do that. She might rebel by eating like crappy food because she's a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a military guy, her brother, so he's probably a little more. And he's pretty buff looking. I'm sure he's probably eating his rock food. You know,
that's right. Yeah, he's
all the time, and he's probably making her eat that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broccoli. He's eats a lot of broccoli.
I figure he's a big carb guy.
Mm.
You know,
Lots of rice.
The big guys
those,
don't carb load anymore.
They don't.
South Beach diet now.
Oh, some do.
Yeah, I was gonna say these big gym guys don't carb load.
It's all keto now.
No, they do.
Do they?
Yeah,
It's still carb load.
that may be California thing,
thing.
Tom.
It's still a thing.
I could be a weightlifting bigot.
Yeah. You know what? I have to ask Brittany's boyfriend. He's a big gym guy. He's not a big super buff guy.
Is that his name? Big Jim guy?
Big gym guy, yeah. Big gym guy. But he it's funny because and I can safely say this because I know they're not listening. When he comes to visit us, we'll eat, and then he'll have a second meal, or he'll either eat before we eat something that he's brought. He'll bring a cooler of his own food, and
He's
he'll
like The Rock.
he will load up on
Yes.
food.
He
and
doesn't
then
like
he'll eat with us.
He doesn't like BJ's food.
Oh no, he eats it all.
Holiday.
It's not enough.
I don't
food
think
for him.
so. I think you're just thinking that. That's
Wait,
what
his dessert was basically another meal?
Well, and he doesn't eat sweets. He
What?
he will not eat sweets.
That relationship will never last.
well, maybe he's a diabetic, Roland.
What's that?
I said he's a diabetic, Roland. But that's why he's not eating sweets. You give him a hard time.
No, he's not diabetic.
I don't know. You're saying he's not eating sweets?
He just doesn't eat sweets.
Like I got
He
you.
doesn't eat sweets. He doesn't drink Cokes or anything like that. I don't.
I'll ask me.
I don't think he drinks sweet tea even.
Did he come over for
Brittany-
Thanksgiving?
No.
Okay.
We'll see him at Christmas.
Are you going to have two Christmas dinners for him? One for him?
Well, he'll probably bring his own, and his is usually full of they're very meaty salads, usually.
Right.
So he'll have lots of salad stuff, but it's got all kinds of meat in it as well.
I think
and
I
eggs, I
wonder what's going on with this guy.
And he brings them pre-packed. So yeah.
Well, he's got a diet then. If
Yeah.
the
Oh
food's
yeah,
back-
he eats like I said, he eats with us. He eats a full meal with us.
But did you see when he goes like this?
So if you go into his
He's not really eating anything.
Yeah.
if you
He's
go into his
faking.
refrigerator at his house, do you just see all the different Tupperware all labeled and organized
Yeah.
by color and coded?
Yes. Yes, you
All
do.
right. That's like movie stuff.
He eats a lot of eggs. I know that. He will scramble. I don't know about six eggs and eat that for breakfast. Yeah, yeah.
What's wrong with him?
He just works out a lot. Again, he burns
See,
off.
he doesn't look like he works out a lot.
Is he training for something?
He's not huge.
Not that I know of.
All right.
Yeah,
He just wants to be healthy.
yeah. He's just a healthy guy. He's a health nut. Yep.
Good.
So
Good for him. I would never do that.
yeah, no, me either. Yeah.
I'm too late. I had cookies for breakfast this morning, so I'm
Well,
not. I'm
And
in his world. I'm the demon.
I've already put it up, but I had a bowl of ice cream before we came on. So, and Mike caught me having a bowl last time, didn't you, Mike?
I did, yes.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I actually told Mike. I said, "Hey, Mike, you gotta hang on. I'm gonna finish my ice cream." He was the only one here, and I was finishing my ice cream before the stream.
Can't fault a good boss.
Was it good ice cream?
It was very good, yes, because I put chocolate and pecans on it.
Oh wow. That sounds good.
Not pecans,
Not
but
pecans.
pecans.
No, I know you say pecans. That's good.
That is.
Yeah. So, and occasionally, if we have them in the pantry, I'll put sprinkle a little bit of walnuts on them as well. So,
Wow.
yeah,
You just need to go get you a banana split.
that's
Yeah,
good
wonderful.
stuff. Well, yeah, that would have. Yeah, we didn't have any bananas though.
I-
You go down and bought you one.
I
just
think
eat it
Demon would eat a good banana split.
Mhm.
Make a note.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he would eat a banana split.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and I think he's probably got a bit of a sweet tooth.
That's his go-to. See character development right now. Right.
So do you think about food when
I am now.
Well,
I'm hungry. And I ate dinner. Now I'm gonna go get something else.
Well, so here's the question for you: when you're writing, when you're creating the characters, are you thinking about the food that your characters might eat, or yeah?
Not really.
Doesn't enter it. Unless I need it for a
Part of
scene.
the story.
But then I'll probably just write that scene out and do some other thing because I don't. Also, I find it difficult to get characters around a table. I don't think that's interesting.
It's visual. I find it visually boring.
If you're doing like in a movie or TV show, you can do a bunch of stuff with light and color and camera angles and moving the camera around and shooting it from different angles, and it makes it interesting even though they're just sitting there. And in comics, they really are just sitting there.
Yeah,
and
like a gross close up of a fork stabbing something.
Right.
Does not great.
I didn't get into comics to write people sitting around a table.
Right.
Exactly.
And so if I get to a place where it's like, oh, you know what? I think I need all 6 of my characters to sit around a table and talk things out. It's like I've written myself into a horrible corner.
Yeah.
I've got to fix it.
And then on a film, you can also have them all reaching and grabbing and poking and passing. Right. You know, there can be a lot of movement at the table.
There's business.
And if you draw that, it's still just a, it's a still image. So,
and you can have overlapping dialogue in the movie or TV show, and you can have sound effects, and you can have all this kind of stuff, and it creates a whole atmosphere that you can't really get in a comic book. Comic books are a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even in the TV shows and stuff, when they're doing it, we all know. I notice it probably more than for some reason it just pops out in my head. But when they're eating, and they're having to do the scenes over and over again, and half the bag is empty, and now it's not empty, and the glass is half full and not full, and then you could tell that they're holding a thing of, a cup of coffee that you could tell the way that they're moving it around doesn't have any coffee in it.
Anything in it. Yeah.
All over the place. Just forget it. Like, we don't need to see anybody eating. It's just
the worst thing is
eating poop.
When they hand somebody. The worst thing is when they hand somebody, here, I got you this cup of coffee, and then they set it down, and it makes that pop like an empty cup. You're like, there's nothing in there.
Right.
Are people walking around with luggage and stuff, and they're just picking it up and throwing it around and they're saying that it's full of stuff. It's like, there's nothing in there. Put something in there. Make it seem heavy.
Make it look like it has some weight to it. Yeah.
Yeah, these actors aren't that great. They can't pretend like it's heavy. They can't figure that part out. But they can't pretend like something's got weight in it. I don't know what to do.
Well, that's like when you see a show where 2 people are carrying a dead body. It's like, no, a dead body's really heavy. It takes more than 2 people to carry it.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're just slinging it around, throwing it over their shoulder, walking around.
Yeah, they're carrying it like laundry.
Yeah, no.
They're carrying it around like an empty bag is what they're doing.
I'm going to risk the anger of Mike right here, but this is one of the things that I always argued about Marvel being so much better than DC is that, DC, you would have them sitting around the table, just sitting there. But this is where I always thought, Stan was brilliant. The X-Men didn't just sit around the table. They went to the danger room, right? They had their interpersonal relationships that were built in the danger room while you also saw them use their powers. Practicing now, Tommy's eating something. Using their powers, where the Justice League just sat around a table, right? I want to see them doing something, even while you're building those interpersonal relationships, which are important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
But have them do something. Also,
I think one of the great inventions like that you're talking about is the Fantastic Four's Fantastic Car.
Yes,
because instead of putting all the characters in one little vehicle and crowding them in together, the way Kirby drew it, they're all off in different little areas of the Fantastic Car, so they each have their own space, and it looks super cool. But it also serves a great function where you don't have to crowd everybody together on the front seat.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love the Fantastic Car. Yeah. I think I probably told you guys, my geeky fanboy answer to the Thanos saga, the film is that final pitched battle with Captain America and Thanos when all the portals started happening. Fantastic Four should have popped through, defeated Kang because he had no idea who they were. Right, the Fantastic Four should have been that final, and then voila, the Fantastic Four have been introduced into the Marvel universe, and they would go, "What's happened here?" It was 1950, and we were in a rocket ship.
Right,
right. I think
missed opportunities.
Yeah, I think so. Missed opportunities. And I think probably the reason they wouldn't do something like that is because, Captain America was kind of a man out of time. But that was not an unusual thing, I don't think, in the 1960s.
No. Well, Captain America was a man out of time because that was a cool way to bring him back because he had previously existed before the Marvel Universe was created.
Yeah.
Well,
and a lot of those superheroes went away in the 1950s. So it'd been a decade since they had, since they had been seen in comic books. So, all right. What else?
We killed that topic. We killed that topic later, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we chewed that topic up, didn't we? All right. Anybody got anything else to add to say?
I'm gonna have ice cream now, and I'm gonna really make your daughter's boyfriend angry.
Yeah. I may have to go see if we have any more.
Hey, that's not on your diet. I'm gonna tell BJ on you.
No. All right.
Ice cream is the chicken of my diet.
Yes, that's true. That's right. That's where I need to have second helpings of ice cream. This is a good one here. On Tuesday, that Silverline Show on Tuesday, they're going to say how to include the holidays in comics. The crew talks about how you can include holidays in your comics as a setting or a theme. That's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the Whammers have a new time. The Wednesday Wham show is moving to 9 p.m. It was formerly 8 p.m. Eastern time. They are now moving to 9 p.m. And I don't see a topic here. Wait a minute.
They're going to talk about the time change.
No. Oh, they're going to talk about special guest, Mark Stegbauer, a longtime artist and creator.
Oh.
Mark Stegbauer talks about comics, the industry, and what it takes to make the children's comic Ghoul Scouts.
He's been doing some charity drawings on Facebook for the last couple of months too.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. They need to add those two together. That's two different things. Next week, we're going to talk about comics and weather. Does weather even matter in comics? Snowbird in a blizzard. Anyone remember that one from?
That's a John Byrne story, right?
Alpha Flight. Thank you, John Byrne and Alpha Flight. How does the weather affect characters in comics? We will talk about that next week.
Aren't there a bunch of lame Flash villains who control the weather?
Weather Wizard.
Yeah, we will talk about all of those. Weather characters and weather in comics in general.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, that's right. And of course Storm from the X-Men. Big
all the weather. She has all the weather.
All the weather. That's right. Well, what about somebody like
use your words. The water guy, Aquaman.
Yeah. He doesn't control water though.
Pedro.
Right? He talks to the animal. He talks to the fish.
He talks to the fish. You got to be called Fishman then.
Hey, Thor, God of
Thor,
Thunder.
yeah, Thor, the God of Thunder. That's right. So yeah, we'll talk about all that, and of course, especially weather in comic books, right? We can a little bit like food. You can see the weather in film, right? You can hear it.
Right.
In comics, you can't, right? It's very visual. So we'll talk about that.
That's why there's no movie. That's why there's no comic book adaptation of Twister.
Right. Oh my goodness. How bad would that be?
Wouldn't that be awful?
All right, so last chance, you guys. Anything else?
Don't forget to back the crowdfunder.
That's right. You guys get over to Silverline
way to get there.
Crowdfunder.com, and you will see Beyond the Stars by Ron Fortier, Andrea Bormida, and lettered by, of course, Mr. Mike W. Belcher. Mike did a lot of design work for it as well. So
you get the cover that I inked.
That's right. You can get the cover. I think that was is that B? Yes, it's cover B that Tommy inked. Yeah. I had to look. I wasn't sure. All right. Until next time, remember to
Make
mine. Good night, everyone.
Hey, I'm G-Rod. Make mine Silverline. You heard me.